she was a goat milker. Or you think, yeah, she was a teen runaway. Or maybe you probably actually, like most people think, Molly Mormon. Actually, I was a goat milker growing up. I was raised on a small family farm in Southern California, and we were kind of the oddball because most of our neighbors had swimming pools and nice, immaculate, landscaped, almost mansions type thing. So we were the unexpected, and at one time a couple were jogging by, and they frantically came to our door, and they're like, "Is everything okay? We heard somebody cry for help." And we're like, "What?" And then we heard our goats in the back, and we took them back there, and the goats were like, "Help! Help!" And so we're like, "Okay, well, thank you for your consideration," and they just kind of smiled and walked away. And so every morning, my dad would get my sister and I up for milking the goats every morning and evening. And we would bring them up into stalls, each across in the room in the barn. And usually the first squirt would go to the cat. But one time my sister decided she wanted to squirt me. And I said, "Okay, well, you don't realize that I also have a goat here full of ammunition." So I squirted her back, and we just soaked each other, and finally decided to stop because my dad, I think, came on and put an end to it. I really looked up to my older sister, Kathy. So when she told me that I was really naive, I really took it to heart, and I thought, I want to be more experienced. I don't want to be like naive. And so a turning point came when I was in 7th grade. I was 12 years old, and some older girls that I respected asked if I wanted to ditch school with them. So I said, well, okay, but then in my mind I was so nervous because they said, you just have to tell your teacher that you are sick and you want to go to the office, and then just meet us across the street. And I've never lied, I've never ditched, and so I was really nervous. And I was so nervous that by the time I came to my teacher, she's like, "You don't look well, yeah, go to the office." So from that time, my life kind of started going, in some ways, I guess, downhill, but I just started partying a lot with friends, and I ended up spending more time. I felt like my friends cared about me more than my family did, so I ended up running away, and first it was just staying with friends, families, but then I ended up kind of going to other places as well. And finally I got to a point where it was a bad situation. I finally called my mom, and she came and got me. And we decided, because I'd been running away, and it had been quite a while, that it would be good for me to get away from the negative influences of Southern California and my friends there, and move to Colorado with my older sister, Tiana, and her family, because she was very, very Molly Mormon. And so I did change a lot at that point. After graduating high school, I went to Ricks, which is now BYU, Idaho, and that was a lot of clean fun. In fact, I had more clean fun than Southern California, even though it was out in the boondocks in Idaho. We had in our girls' apartment a kissing door, so anybody that came in, whether they were a guy or girl, had to put on lipstick and kiss our door. And so we had kiss marks all over the door, and we just did goofy, fun things like that. Whenever anybody asked for a formal dance date, it was always in a creative way. I had a lot of good roommates. In fact, I just talked to one the other day that's still a good friend. But one roommate I had was really difficult to be with, and she actually shared a room with me. She ended up getting on the Oprah Winfrey Show for being difficult to live with. And so that gives you a little idea. I'm not kidding. So she made life hard. One morning, I wake up to hearing her yelling, like, "Joy, Joy!" She was so angry, so I ran downstairs to find her covered in popcorn. And what had happened was a guy had come to ask me for this date in a creative way that said, "I will pop if you don't go to the dance with me." And he had taped up the outside of the door, the frame, filled it up with popcorn, so whoever opened the door, which was Peggy, my roommate that was not very happy with me, so she got it. And so I graduated from Ricks with my associate's degree. I managed to do that without getting my MRS. I then ended up not getting married degree because I just felt like I wasn't ready at that time. Although later I did get my bachelor's degree. I wanted to get more experience before settling down, so I did. I went to Washington, Oklahoma, New Jersey, California, and finally came to Utah and worked for Delta Airlines. And I worked being able to travel a lot, which helped also in seeing the world and experiencing focusing more, becoming less naive. Then I somehow dated and married my husband through working nights, and we've been married almost 18 years, have 3 wonderful boys. One of our challenges of our marriage has been my religious beliefs have shifted a little bit. And so basically we've compromised where I decide we don't pay tithing to the church, but we pay to the poor, and then but we still go to the church as a family. So we made that compromise. I realized life is not black and white, church or anything like that. Take the best and leave the rest. I still prioritize my kids. I work part-time, but mostly I try to be there for my kids when they need me and for homework so they don't play video games all day. And we do still have family meeting and high standards and things like that. But I still wouldn't consider myself Molly Mormon based on the whole thing of what I've experienced. And so I really believe it's true that you don't judge a book by its cover. In other words, people are much more complex than they superficially